Okay, and so this is the load-in process. You're going to pull up at the back of the park, going through the trolley route. You're going to pull up, you're going to unload your vehicle. You're going to take your stuff to your spot. I suggest you bring a dolly, bring a what do you call it, a wagon or two to make the process smooth and easy and labor not so labor intensive. Go once you bring your stuff to your spot, you do not start setting up. You need to move your car and go park it at a designated spot. I don't know what it is, but at different venues, I know in Kingwood, sometimes I tell vendors, if you pull up, unload, go park. Some vendors, they want to sit, they don't want to go park. They want their stuff, their vehicle right there next to their tent. But the problem is, then they get upset when the community doesn't have anywhere to park. Well, you took the best parking spot, which is literally right next to the venue, from them because you didn't want to go park your car on the next block. Okay, listen, but for the Woodlands, you don't have a choice. There is no parking on the next block. They're very strict about their parking. And I'm telling you, when you pull up, you have to go park, okay? Don't go park at the library. You're going to get towed. Don't go park at HEB. You're going to get towed, especially if they see you walk across to Towns Green Park. They're going to tow your car. Don't go parking in parking garages that do not belong to township or don't belong, that is not on the list that I sent you. If you go and you park at Market Street, you're going to get towed. I'm trying to prevent you guys from getting towed and spending unnecessary money. So when you pull up, unload, go pick up, go park your car. Do not start setting up, because if you start setting up and you did not go park your car, I'm going to tell you, or one of my event staff, we're going to tell you to stop, and we're going to request you to move your car. If you refuse to move your car, we're going to have your car towed, because we have way too many vendors trying to come in and unload who want to follow directions for you to sit here and not want to follow simple directions. Please do that. I already talked about what you should bring. Never leave your stuff unattended. I always tell people doing vendor markets is not a one-person job. It may be for some, but for the majority, the vast majority, this is not a one-person job, okay? This is a two-person more job. So I suggest you at least, at bare minimum, bring somebody to help you unload your stuff, somebody to go park the car, and then come back on the trolley or come back on or walk up the street to meet you to help keep setting up, right? That's what you should do, especially at this venue. It's easier. You don't want to leave your stuff unattended. I'm not there. I'm there, but I can't watch your stuff. Don't expect your vendor, the neighbor next to you, to watch your stuff. You're responsible for your own things. So if you know you're coming to this venue or you're coming to any event and you're going to need to use the restroom, you're going to want to go eat something, you're going to want to go do something during the event, you need to have somebody at your booth. You need to have somebody watching your stuff, because nobody's responsible for things that are getting lost or stolen, okay? Please, I already talked about the wagon. Never leave your stuff unattended. What else? The reason I say bathroom breaks, because a lot of vendors underestimate the fact that they got to use the restroom, and they just assume that the vendor next door to them or on both sides of them is going to see somebody stealing their stuff. No, they're minding their own business. They are working with the people, their customers. They're not watching your stuff. So you always should have a +1 with you or more. Now let's talk about vendor etiquette. So being a successful vendor isn't just about what you sell, it's about how you show up. And here's some things you need to do. Be on time. Arrive at your assigned load-in time. Don't make your neighbors wait. What that means is, if you're scheduled to be here at 8 o'clock, show up at 6, 7:10, 7:50, unload, because the next block will be there at 9 o'clock. Okay, it's like this. It shouldn't really take that long either for you guys to pull up, because you're driving, pull up, unload, get in the car, and go back. It should not be that. It shouldn't take you long at all. The next group, 9 o'clock, same thing. Keep going, okay? Set up your booth completely and neatly. What neatly means, Don't have your stuff all over the place. Have your stuff in your designated spot. Because it's frustrating to other vendors when they come and they're your neighbors and you got your stuff all over there, okay? All over their spot. Don't do that. Come neatly. Make sure you take your trash with you. A lot, I don't know what it is about some vendors. They just feel like when they're bringing all their boxes and their trash cans and all their packaging, they leave all that stuff right there, and it's not right. It's not fair to the cleanup crew, because I'm not the cleanup crew. It's other people that I hired to clean up. It's not fair to them. It's not fair to other vendors as well that you have a messy area. It doesn't look good, and it represents you, not anybody else, okay? So keep your area clean and neat, okay? If you have boxes that you've used and open, take all the other boxes and stuff them in one box, okay? Bring you an extra trash can or an extra trash bag, and make sure you keep your stuff behind your table in your area. Have a plan for an unloading, parking, moving your car quickly to avoid congestion. I already told you guys about that. Always bring a +1. Respect your neighbors. Keep your setup within your assigned booth. Avoid blocking and encroaching on other vendors' area. We talked about that. Noise matters. You can play music at your booth, no problem whatsoever, but it needs to be contained within your booth. The next booth shouldn't hear you blasting your music. The music needs to be family appropriate, and it needs to be according to theme. So if we're out here at a Halloween event, we don't need to hear country, hip hop, or any other type of music. It needs to be according to theme, because that matters to the ambiance, the atmosphere of the event. Parents don't want their kids listening and hearing things that they don't deem family appropriate, okay? So that matters, okay? If you want to make an announcement from your booth, great, but you don't need a megaphone, because that's not allowed either, because other people are around you. Your signage should be in your 10 by 10 space, okay? In your 10 by 10 space, if you got 2 spaces, which apparently a lot of vendors got 2 spaces because they want to be able to spread out and have some room, right? But if you didn't do that, you need to keep your signage, your banner, your contractable banners, and all of that jazz within your booth or on your tent, okay? Professionalism with attendings. You need to greet everybody warmly, and even the just looking around crowd. Just because somebody comes into your booth and they don't buy anything, or you feel they're not going to buy anything, still greet them, because they may not buy right now, but they might buy later. They may send their friend back over to your booth. They may send a family member back over to your booth. But if you treat people who you feel, because I don't know, you're just judging them based off of what they look like or whatever, or just whatever, and you just assume they're not going to buy anything, you should still speak, because that's nice. But I've watched vendors who would let people who didn't buy anything right then and there, or the people who came up to their booth, they wouldn't say anything. They don't say anything, and I'm just like, how are you in business and trying to sell anything and you don't speak? Like, that doesn't make any sense at all. Like, speak. And somebody comes under your tent, I don't care if they're just passing by, a hi, hello, how are you? Can I help you? Do you need help with any directions? Do you need to know where anything? Just say something. Don't say anything. So you need to speak. This goes with, if you're hungry, I'm telling you right now, nobody wants to stop in your booth, really, if you got a mouthful of sandwich, or you're chomping down on food and stuff, or the people that are sitting with you are just just eating. People don't want to interrupt your food, like you eating your food and stuff. But if you're at a vendor event, this is why I tell people, have a +1 or 2, so you can remove yourself and go eat your food elsewhere, away from the products, because then again, your hands are sticky. You'll be surprised. People are really funny about that type of stuff. They come to your booth and they see that you have sauce and all this type of stuff spread all over the table behind the products. They don't know if the products are sticky. You can accidentally ruin your product by spilling stuff. It's just not a good look. Plus, sometimes some food smells may be offensive to other people. Like, it's just best not to do it. It's not professional, in my opinion. You'll never see, if I ever have a booth, you'll never see me eating. I may have my coffee with me, like a drink with me, but you will never see me getting down on anything at my booth, because it's just not professional, So that What else? Be polite and patient even during busy times or tough interactions. Sometimes, the crowd may get a little rowdy because they feel like they like to haggle and all that type of stuff. You're not there to haggle. Your price is your price. Your methods are your methods, okay? That's it. One thing you're not allowed to do is try to, I guess you call this poaching. You can't go into other people's booth area and give them flyers and stuff like that. That's rude. I've seen people do that. Is so rude. I'm like, why would they go over to her booth and hand out flyers? They passed you up. Your chance and opportunity was when they were in front of your booth, on their way to your booth, not when they're at somebody else's booth, okay? Be polite, especially when, sometimes kids may ask for more than one piece of candy. You could politely say, we only give one candy per round trip, because I'm telling you, the kids are going to come right back around. They're going to ask up front. You could politely say no. I've seen some vendors say no, you don't need all that candy. That's not your place to say you don't need all that candy. That's their parents' place. I'm just telling you, you can just politely say no, one candy at a time. Okay, avoid negative comments about other vendors or competitors. Boo Fest and any event that the Livable Forest hosts is a family friendly event, okay? And you should take this with you to all the other events as well. You don't need to be talking about other vendors. If you don't like how another vendor is set up, that's none of your business. If you see another vendor that's selling something similar, your job and it's not your business. Your job is not to go and try to speak negatively about that person's product or service that's similar to yours to make yourself look better, because it doesn't make you look better. It actually makes you look worse. It makes you look petty. It makes you look insecure, like you can't get your own customers because of God knows what other reasons. But if you're the type of person that does that, 9 times out of 10 is energy and personality at that point, okay? We don't need any negative comments about anybody there. We're all there to not only just make money, build community around our businesses. We're there to uplift and present a good show for everybody who is attending, okay? Everybody should feel welcome, even vendors. And while you're over there complaining and talking about them, you could be over there trying to partner or trying to figure out how y'all can collaborate to do other business ventures together. So keep your booth clean, like we said. Maintain tidy, organized display throughout the event. Have your trash bags or your containers ready. Leave your area cleaner than you found it, which is already clean, but leave it the way you found it. There was no trash when you got there. There should be no trash when you leave, okay? Respect the venue and shared spaces, porta potties, common areas, and walkways. If you are not able to, if you're not on the back, like the outskirts of the park, and you need to run if you are on the outskirts of the venue, like in the park, and you're next to the electricity, you have to tape your extension cord down with duct tape, preferably bright duct tape, since it is an evening event. You have to do that. If you don't do that, you can get a ticket. Somebody gets hurt or falls or whatever, you're liable because you didn't go and do what you're supposed to do. All this stuff that I'm saying should be common knowledge with people who do this. People who do this for a living, as far as doing vendor markets every weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, every single weekend of the year, y'all know this. It's the new people who don't know this, so that's why I'm sharing the information. But the people that do know this and decide not to do it, this is for you too. I'm telling you right now, if you do not follow directions, I will politely ask you to leave. And if you don't politely leave, that's why we have security on there, because I don't have time. The vendors don't have time. We didn't spend all this money trying to get ready for these events for one person to try to ruin it because they don't want to follow directions. Not happening. Not under my watch, okay? So make sure you respect the common areas. That means you need to make sure your banners are not all in the walkway, your extension cords are taped down. If you are not on the outskirts where there's electricity, you need to bring an battery pack block. They're like $100. You could probably get some cheaper whatever, just to run your electricity. Heck, you could probably use a small little tiny battery pack or whatever you can get from Walmart or whatever, probably like $20-$30. But you cannot run your extension cord from the middle of the park all the way across the park. You cannot do that. You would get unplugged and I will pull it back to you, because that is a tripping hazard, because there's no way you can, unless you're going to stake it down every couple of inches all the way up until where you have to tape it down, then you can't run it. You can't do that, because that's a hazard. There's children running around. We don't need any accidents. Just bring your battery pack. And the people that got outskirts or who have the electricity are based off of how you booked. If you booked early, you got, most likely you got a one of those spots along the edge, okay? If you didn't, you're probably in the middle. Because I basically I book according, I place according. So Sally, she was the first person to book. Great, she got the first spot. And I go 1, 2, 3. I just go on down the line, and then I go to the next row. And it's all based off of when you book. There's no special placement. There's no special request. There's none of that. If you have a special request, it's a $50 fee to have a special spot. To have a special spot and to be where you want, because it gets very frustrating and very congested on my end when I have to switch people around to accommodate whatever reasons y'all need accommodations for, and it slows the process down. So if you're going to slow the process down, then you can go ahead and you have to pay the fee for me to slow down to accommodate you. And I'm not trying to sound rude or be rude, but people are always requesting spot changes, or always requesting special privileges. I treat all my vendors the exact same. I don't care if you vended with me for 20 years or once. You all get treated the exact same. You all follow the exact same rules. And if you want special treatment comes with the price, okay? So let's see, marketing and engagement. We talked about signage. Your signage needs to be event appropriate. Decorations is highly recommended. If you're at this Halloween, you can dress up, because a lot of vendors dress up. Some vendors go and deck out their entire booth to make it a theme, because it's fun and it's inviting. I encourage you guys to take photos, share within the app too. You will be surprised. There's like 2,000 of y'all that are not all vendors. Believe me, there's only like probably 400 of you on this app that are actually vendors. The rest of everybody else are regular community members, event goers, shoppers. That's why I tell y'all, while you're over here just popping in just for event information, you could be literally making money and showcasing your products.